So now no one has a luxury to miss any lesson. We are going deeper at a subtler level. Last session, we understood the first 7 factors means the world we created for ourselves is the cause of the suffering. Today in the morning, I received an email. I have a girl at work that I deal with. Mostly, I just avoid her and do my own thing because I cannot miss that girl because she is working for me and she is doing very good. So I have tried just to accept her for who she is, but that will never happen again. That is the world I have created for myself, and that is the cause of the suffering. And you can examine all the 7 factors and you will find out the answer. So when Buddha says the world is suffering, we say, okay, this world is suffering. No, not this world, the world that we have created in our head. You have accepted the girl who is working for you, and you say that will never happen again. She has to come tomorrow again. I have yet to think how to answer. Do you see? That is what happens. So why it has happened? Because of the lack of knowledge. Because of the lack of the knowledge. I think, yes, because of the lack of the knowledge. You have a destination to reach. You follow the GPS. You reach there. You do your work and you return. That is the nature of the world. I have not to introduce in my mind all these 7 factors. Otherwise, I will create my own world, and that will cause the suffering. Again, pay attention. Again, I'm repeating this. I have yet to answer. I have a girl at work that I deal with. Mostly, I just avoid her and do my own thing. And you cannot miss her because she has to report to the work every day. I have tried just to accept her. You have tried. Why you have tried to accept her? Why? Are you special? Or if you don't accept, something will happen to her? We are going at a very subtle level. This is the world we created, but that will never happen. So I have to answer her in a way so that her own attachment, disliking for a person, for a situation, for an event should go from her mind. And so the world that is causing the suffering will dissolve. What to do? Satsang. Second group of the practices, the 5 factors. 5 factors, I believe you all remember. Question is, why shouldn't I believe? Why shouldn't I believe? You have been attending the session, so I should believe that you remember all those factors. But satsang is the one word. First 7 factors. Foolishness. Is it not a foolishness? Anyhow, I have to accept her. Should I say that, anyhow, I have to accept you all? So look at it. We are going in a very subtler manner, in a very simple way to evolve. 7 factors, you find out the foolishness, the scattered mind, the attachment, emotional dependence, selfishness, or ego. intellectual paralysis. And intellectual paralysis, what is happening? Yeah, I have to. Now, Brandy has joined, perhaps. Yes, did, yeah. So, intellectual paralysis, you have to listen to this audio again and again from the start. Brandy. Brandy is gone? Yes. No, she's there. Did you understand that? And the seventh factor is the changing desire all the time. And eighth factor I have added, the word is the suffering. Either you take the one. Now, what is the remedial steps? The remedial step is satsang. And I have explained you the remedial, there are 5 steps, but the satsang includes everything. Satsang. Literal meaning of the satsang is the company of the right knowledge. How you get it? By the teacher. Otherwise, you will forget. She has been attending my session almost, she has been doing my sessions almost for the last 2 years and she forgets. So consistent listening and learning and practice is required until you reach to that state. And I know she is going to change. So the teacher looks at the masses, talks to you, but it has a different perception altogether. So satsang, listening and learning, I briefly said, listening and learning, contemplation and reflection, practice, and then I have done this satsang. So what to do next? I have to realize. So it means I have to check whether I'm changing, my experiences are changing or not. If my experiences are not changing, then I am. Yes, another guy has come. So you see, the third group is about, did I change my experience? That is the third. So again, I have the 5 format, and after that, we have to reach to the 4th state. What is the 4th state? Do you know me? Yes, I know you. Remembering. 4R. That is the 4th group. Do you know where are you living now? Yes, I know it. Remembering, self-remembering. So the 4th group is this self-remembering. How long it takes you to remember? Doesn't take any time. That self-remembering is the knowledge of the real self. Self-remembering is not the knowledge of the world that is suffering. What happens? Flashes of realization, flashes of awakening. You get it. You get it. That is the spiritual discipline. So Buddha, while explaining the 4 noble truths, the first noble truth, samsara is dukkha. Dukkha means suffering. Samsara is the word. What is that word? You should always remember. The word outside is not suffering. The word that I have created in my mind out of the 7 factors is causing the suffering. Is causing the suffering. So now you have to sit down and contemplate on these 7 factors. And when you contemplate on the first 7 factors, you will find out, what are the words that you find out? Dissatisfaction, anger, hesitation, blame, complaint, frustration, sadness, loneliness. They are the very good qualities, isn't it? And then we unnecessarily continue to suffer. We started with delusion, hammer the delusion. We are hammering still the delusion. But we renamed it. Delusion is ignorance. So how the Buddha defines the world as a suffering is clear. Why the world is suffering is also clear. It is because of the ignorance. The second noble truth, the Buddha says, there is a cause of the suffering. So we have already covered. Here is the cause of the suffering. Third, there is a state which is absence of suffering. Oh, how can I get it? Second group. Satsang. Third group. So the fourth noble truth is that by the practice is the satsang, and the absence of the suffering is the third group, is the realization. Now I recognize I have nothing to do with this girl, Why I should have liking and disliking? Let me welcome the girl every day and you do the work and appreciate her. Finished. Unnecessarily I created in my mind. And then I created the world of suffering in me. That will never happen again. Why I'm giving that example? We also do that, every day. Every day we do on something or the other. I have to get rid of it. How? Fourth group. 4R. Can it happen in a day? No. Satsang is required. Satsang is required. Satsang, second group. World is suffering, the first group. Realization, the third group. And the fourth group is 4R. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. Otherwise, what will happen? I will repeat. I am anxious because of you. I don't want to see you. No problem. I don't want to see you because you are crazy. I branded you crazy. It is no problem. But what is going to happen? The craziness that is settled in the mind will be applied to the other. That is what is mean that it is a repeated attachment. It is the repeated disliking. It is the repeated anxiety. It is the repeated duality and a conflict. Why it is happening? Why it is happening? I put the silent phone on silent, He sent a message from somewhere, but I have to, that is the relevant to the topic. I don't know what I can do as a single parent. Why should I tell you? You find yourself the solution. Now I've muted it. Now I'm not looking at the phone. So, you see, if I smile and you all laugh at her, she will be more angry. So it means the word she has in her mind, the word that is causing the suffering is very intense. So I get those questions. I'm not eligible. You are a single parent, then okay, that's good. My friends, you have to go deeper. You have to contemplate and reflect. So what I was talking about, that anxiety I have with you, I have to see it is the anxiety not with you. It is the anxiety present in my head because of my own creation. Did you understand that? Say yes, even if you don't understand. No, but you are responsible. I hate your beard. No one is responsible. No one is responsible. That is under the 4R. No one is responsible. I have to look back. I have to contemplate punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. So I die every day of anxiety. I take birth in peace, and then I die again with the anxiety, because that anxiety, that reaction, that blame, that complaint, that pain is already growing in me. That world is suffering. Did you understand? Say yes. So that is what the verse is. Punarapi janani, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. So the cycle of the birth and the death, every day we are frustrated. Frustrated. What should I do? What shall I do? I am a single parent. What should I do? I cannot have a good relationship with the girl who is doing my work in my business. Come on. She does not know, and you know it, that you cannot live with. You all are seekers. That's why I'm talking about you. Nothing, you just drop it. The word is gone. Word is gone. You see the 7 steps. The word is suffering. For second remedial step is the satsang. Satsang, I told you. I gave an example of you know the place where you have to go. You have to follow the GPS, and you reach there, you return. Finished. Everything is smooth. That is what the satsang is. So while living in the world, I understand the way. How? By satsang. What is satsang? Well, company with the teacher, or company with the right knowledge, so that he inspires you or she inspires you to have a right knowledge, so that you can contemplate and reflect. Why contemplate and reflect? Your contemplation will drop the very foolishness of the mind when you contemplate. So what to contemplate? The principles of the Eastern wisdom. Teacher is not so important. The knowledge coming from the Eastern wisdom is very important. And the third one, the realization, mind lives now in wisdom. The moment the mind lives in wisdom, you don't have a problem. I'm a single parent. How many double parents are happy? Tell me. Do the survey. Forget about double parents. How many triple parents are happy? I told you, did I not tell you? No, I got the masses, she has a stepdaughter, and the stepmother was saying she is a bitch. World is suffering, my friend, that I have created. But now she has changed. She has satsang. And the fourth one is the 4R. Remind, repeat, revise, remember. I have to remember. I have to remember. Oh, I have gone out of the track. It is like a GPS in your mind. So if you follow the wrong route, the GPS, beautiful voice of a girl comes. Go straight and take the right turn again. Understand very clearly. So you see that what the verse number 21 says in this text, that he says 4R, he has changed the 4R as a prayer. He says pray. Pray to the God. Pray to the God here is a recognition of the real self. Recognition that, that self is here. That self is not at all affected. Recognition, the same thing. Recognition, remembering, repeating. Oh, let me see the perspective. In what perspective I'm looking at you to have a hatred, and what perspective I should see so that I'm in peace and I'm not disturbing you. and everything has to happen in the mind. Everything has to happen in the mind. My friends, see that. That is the journey of the Eastern wisdom. That is the only possibility we can awaken to our real nature. I should know the truth of suffering. What exactly is the truth of suffering? I have to contemplate and reflect. Yes, it is okay that you are responsible for my suffering. What should I do with a single parent? But I don't contemplate. And that is the foolishness. And I gave you a perfect logic. How many double and triple parents are really happy? Tell me. Don't start thinking about yourself. Just do you see this? Do you see how this knowledge awakens you? Oh, yes. I will not marry, the one Ukrainian session I take. To ask, how many singles are really happy? How many married are happy? It is not outside. That is the world we have created. But you have to remind yourself again and again. And satsang, the teacher comes here to remind you again and again, because you find a new situation where you feel these principles cannot fit. Why? Because you have not contemplated enough. You have not done the practice enough. So the teacher returns and teacher says, yes, here is another perspective. I gave you 3 perspectives. My stepdaughter is a bitch. Very good. What you are, I should not say that. But then, the girl in the office, in the workplace, and I am a single parent. What should I do? I don't know. That is why J. Krishnamurti, one of the great masters, says that meditation is a state of extraordinary awareness where you instantly remember, repeat, and revise, and you settle into the higher state of consciousness, and the mindfulness succeeds. Why? The world that is suffering dissolves by itself. It dissolves by itself. You need not to do anything. There should not be any project for anxiety management. There should be a project for awakening to the peace that is within me, awakening to the happiness within me. That is the journey of the Eastern wisdom. The truth of the suffering I have to find out. The truth of the cause of this suffering I have to find out. I'm not to stretch. I'm a single parent, I'm single. No, I will not talk to her the way I'm giving a lesson. She'll be upset. Think. Master is only saying, the entire Eastern wisdom is saying that you have to contemplate and reflect, applying these principles. The truth of the cessation of the suffering. What exactly is the truth of cessation of the suffering? Your mind is overwhelmed being a single. That is why the problem came, that what to do I don't know, to being a single parent. Right? Understood that? I'm just explaining the truth of cessation of the suffering. Now your mind reminds you, get ready, you have to go to the work. 50% of your suffering has gone. Now you have gone to the office. You are engaged in your activity, whatever your activity that you are doing. Your 100% of the suffering has come. So here the master says, what the master says, you have to pick up that wisdom. Master says that comes and goes is not the real thing, which is substituted by something else. I became busy and now I'm happy. I'm absorbed in the activity. My boss appreciated me at work and I return home with a happiness. And again return to I'm a single parent. Or she is a bitch, or the girl. Take these three examples. So what I'm missing, the truth of the cessation of the dukkha, truth of the cessation of the suffering, the truth of the path leading to the cessation of the dukkha. That is what the Buddha explained. I'm just summarizing because in Eastern wisdom it has a different way, and that we are going to take up in a different format when we discuss the next verse. Now see, if the Buddha says you listen, you read from the Google, the word is suffering. It doesn't make any sense to you. That is why Eastern wisdom says, satsang is very important. That is why I give a reference. I spent 26 years with my master. Every time I get a new perspective of my life. The word is suffering. Second, remedy, satsang. Third, I have to check myself. I have done the satsang. The third group is whether I really experience the change or not. No, I experienced the change in this situation, but not in this situation. So that is why you have to continue the satsang. But why don't you experience the change in one situation and do not experience the change in another situation? Because the mind is still filled with deeper layers of the suffering, deeper layers of the impurities and the ignorance. So again you hear the satsang and you come out with a new perspective. So with these three examples, you create 10 perspectives in your life by which you have been suffering. Think of it, remind yourself, and then apply these principles. So at least you can get rid of the 10 different situations in your life. Right? Right? Not right. No, not everyone is saying right. Close your eyes. Let us close your eyes. Place, position, and the posture. Place, position, and the posture. So the place, I extended that explanation. It is about the knowledge, nothing more than that. Place, surrounding awareness, I said, become aware of the space all around your body. That is your place where you are sitting and doing the meditation. Not only that, you can bring in the articles in the room, in the place, the sound, the noise. You are oblivious of that place. Why? Because you are moving the mind within. That much knowledge is required. That much awareness is required. Even if there is a loud noise. When I gave a New Jersey sessions, he says, there is a fire station very near to me and I cannot tolerate the horn. The world is suffering. So now we are moving into the next step, the place. I'm aware of the surrounding. And if I'm aware of the surrounding, the place, aware of the surrounding means what? Aware of the surrounding. You are aware of me. Am I causing any problem? Aware of the surrounding. So starting with the space awareness around the body, and then any sound or smell or 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 all the objects of the senses. Why we are doing it? To raise our awareness. Raise awareness. But why to raise awareness? To be immune. To be immune to them at this moment. Mind says, no, attend the sound. I can tell you, attend the sound, attend the phone, attend my pet, my dear pet. They are dearer than you. I'm just making you aware. So, surrounding awareness given interpretation by the mind due to the 7 factors causes the suffering, and then you say, my dog, my honey, my people, my neighbor, or the fire station created this problem. That is why I did not succeed in meditation. Now you have already understood. I use the word and then I explain it, then I expand it. So the moment I say the place, you have to be, then position of the body. I have already explained. Position of the body, and then the posture. What normally happens, we have been doing yoga postures, and we succeed in doing it. But when it comes to sitting in meditation, then even for 2 minutes, it becomes difficult. Being comfortable, looking at the neck joint. Now looking at the neck joint, so I want you to go a little deeper. Means what? You find the root of the neck joint, from where the neck joint starts. Why? We can easily move the mind within. Even you will not know your mind is living within, and you will move the mind within. So it is an exploratory moment for the mind. Let me look at from where the joint starts, and then you experience the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Shoulder joints, the root, and so you see that the mind seems to get absorbed even in being comfortable. And then the entire body from the top of the head to the toes, feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Carefree. So we'll go to the carefree later. And now the mantra, we'll start with the mantra. I'll talk about this auspiciousness also at length. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Are you a great seeker? Yes, I am a seeker. Does the seeker's mind reflects on this verse? Check. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. I'm not explaining you. The GPS in your head knows what it means. I gave you the 3 aspects: the word, the meaning, and the knowledge. So it is the knowledge part, right knowledge, satsang. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Peace. If your mind does not reflect peace for all, you will be in pieces. Why? 7 factors will return. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. That is the meaning. What about the knowledge? Does your mind trigger a sense of completeness in myself? Will take you away, will dissolve that I am a single parent, or she is a witch, or I cannot go along with her. What I have to do, why I feel the sense of incompleteness because of the other situation, event, condition outside. I am feeling it. So that is the word is suffering. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be an auspiciousness for all. We are already covering auspiciousness on Saturday's session. So, as far as the knowledge is concerned. Now in that state, we will start with belly breathing. We will start with the belly breathing. I have a reason to say that, and I will tell you later. So just looking inside the forehead in the space, dropping Om Shanti gently, and in the stillness of the body, you start the belly breathing. It is a little longer and the faster breath. Longer you expand your belly while breathing in, you contract your belly while breathing out. We don't want our mind to condition. We want to live in a deconditioned state. That is one reason, but there are other reasons for that. Please continue. Om Shanti, stillness in the body, belly breathing. Little hissing sound is there with both the nostrils, expansion and contraction. Continue. Longer breath into the belly only. So you get an understanding that how the belly breathing is more effective than the chest breathing. Any reaction comes to the mind, endure the resistance. You feel in sudden changes in the body. You may feel as a bodilessness, tremendous tingling, energy around the head. That is okay. You need not worry about it. The mind is indicating that your mind is changing. Please continue. Do not stop in the middle. Continue breathing. Om Shanti continues. Stillness in the body. is maintained. These three-pointed awareness will help your mind to get absorbed deeper. But what happens? The belly breathing, the long and the deeper breath makes the mind agitated. Why? Because of the impurities present. And I'll explain you deeply. Resistance, you endure it. Stillness is to be maintained. Om Shanti continues. Continue. You will find out if the mind does not want to continue. One is the resistance, and you can easily endure it, and other is the mind will follow another direction of the breath. It starts moving the body. So we have to live into that state of awareness while doing this practice, my friend. Continue. Stillness is maintained in the body, no movement of the head and the neck. Long, deeper breath into the belly with a somewhat hissing sound is there. And Om Shanti continues. Do not stop in the middle. Continue the stillness in the body. Om Shanti. Your mind will say, now I cannot do it. And that is where the endurance comes. And you say, no, I have to do it. Your house is 10 miles away from your point, and you say, I will drive only 6 miles. I will reach my house. Not possible. That is what you have to convince your mind to get rid of those one of those seven factors which is creating a resistance, or simply by enduring it. Breathing continues, Om Shanti continues, the stillness in the body continues. And stop this breath and also the mantra. Pay attention to the flow of the breath through both the nostrils. You are not changing the rate and the rhythm of the breath. You are just observing, following the flow of the breath. And if any flow is less, you pay a little more attention. And pay more attention to the flow of the breath, which is less, either right or left. And if the flow are equal, it is a wonderful state. And you will also experience a sensation, relaxation, stillness, calmness, and quietness. Not only sensation, relaxation, and stillness in the body, but also calmness and quietness deeper inside. So, what is happening? Why we feel the calmness and quietness? We have to recognize it. Everything is done consciously. You know what you are doing. So, you are your own teacher. I am just facilitating it. So, that calmness and quietness is achieved because the current impressions have dissolved. Current impression means at the time of doing listening to the talk and just before that or the last 24 hours, current impressions are dissolved, but still the deeper impressions are still there, and that is why we are continuing the journey. So experience that sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Now we will follow with both the nostrils have a flow equal or not equal. You start breathing deep, silent, slow. We will do the nyas instead of the japa. So the nyas, deep, silent, slow breath, first point. First point, deep, silent, and slow breath. So what it means by the deep, silent, slow breath? It means I breathe first into the belly, then into the rib cage, and that is the point number 2, awareness. Point number 3, awareness. As you inhale, move the mind from the top of the head to the tailbone, and From tailbone, as you exhale, you move the mind from the tailbone to the top of the head. Means you are engaging the mind. Simple way. I am just making it simple. You are engaging the mind to track. Here the spine. Don't start thinking of something, unnecessarily that you might have experienced in Kundalini meditation. The teacher talks a great deal. So now the point number 4. As you inhale, you have already traced the track of the mind from the top of the head to the tailbone, and you sing mentally. Shanti. So when you are dropping Om Shanti, that Shanti reaches to the tailbone, and when you are exhaling, you start with Om Shanti. So we will have a very deeper experience of the triangle when we are doing this. So we are facilitating the last step of this practice. A little change brings a tremendous experience. The third group, the realization. Why the realization comes? Because of the fourth group. Your mind is a self-remembering. You're repeating, you're committed. Deep silence, slow breathing, as if the breath and the movement of the mind is singing mentally. Shanti, tailbone. You start with the Om from the tailbone. Om Shanti, the top of the head. You will discover that as if some force is withdrawing the body and the sense organ deeper inside. That is another purpose of the nyasa. We'll understand that. Shanti. And now leave this deep silence, slow breath. Allow the breath to be normal. We move the mind into the cave of your heart. Visualize the triangle pointing upward. Move the mind casually on each side of the triangle, dropping Om Shanti clockwise and anti-clockwise. And now it's your take. You find, I'm able to sink easily. It's a free flow. Free flow means the freedom. That is the right moment of the mind. Singing Om. Now you are pushing the mind deep inside the cave of your heart. And mind seemingly stops. You drop, saying Shanti, and then you do nothing. Why you do nothing? There is a self-absorption. There is no doer. We will understand later. There is no doer, there is no doing. There is nothing is done. Why? Real self is independent of this. Yes, your mind is distracted. You know what needs to be done. Return to the triangle. Follow the same Om Shanti couple of times until you find a sync, and then self-absorption, my friends. Om Shanti. So now the last point of Om Shanti. Om Shanti is used to drop the mind deeper inside and be free. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences, bring the hands down, and we'll share our experiences. How are you, Terry? If you can speak, it's okay. If it is not, that too is okay.
I'm good. I really approach the stillness
Good.
inside,
Very good.
and I liked it very much. Very much.
You like the practice, you don't like me. Okay.
No, I like the stillness.
You are good. Very good. I love it. How are you, Stephen?
Good, thank you, sir. Listening to the lesson, it reminded me of how our mind and our past impressions and the battle between perception and reality again. And I was settled with that and took on everything that you were saying, which then led into my meditation, which was really self-absorbed. And then there were moments during that meditation that there were certain words and phrases that you were saying that I felt myself pulled out and my mind become active. And I then realized that the activity that was going on in my mind, I was able to control and be able to shut it back down and then get back into that moment of self-absorption. And then my mind started playing the game with me of like, oh, okay. And then I started going back and forth and I was like, no, we're shutting this down. And I was just in this moment in my heart center of just absolute absorption, to the point that when you startled me when you started chanting the Om Shanti, and then I felt a fluttering within my heart center, and then just chills throughout my entire body as I was coming out of meditation. So
beautiful. Beautiful. Now from today onward, if you remember, why I said if, you all remember all these principles in 4 groups. So when you are doing the meditation, your mind reminds you, oh, the mind is working on me and I'm working on the mind. So when you said that, mind was playing. So mind was playing is not as same as what to do, I'm a single parent. That is also a thought. But when the mind is playing, I'm playing with the mind. So that is only a matter of awareness, and that is only a matter of knowledge. How are you, David and Jerry? So don't take it negatively. I gave 3 examples, because you all are seekers. But even if you take it, what can I do? So, how are you, David?
Very well. The lesson for me today is it just reiterates the simplicity of this of Eastern wisdom and the practice, and we make things so complicated. Yes. And it confuses things. As far as the meditation, my theme for it was awareness, and the awareness was mainly focused on my breath. And at some points, I was so aware of my breath, I was wondering if I was breathing, because my body was so still, my breathing was so still, I was so deep, I was just there was no traffic from the mind. It was just pure peace and happiness.
Beautiful. Yes, the more our mind understands that how simple these steps are. So it means the suffering is very complex. And who is responsible for making our life complex? We. All the three examples. I don't want to repeat it. How are you, Jerry?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. I thought the GPS metaphor is really fun.
Yeah.
I think that's a fun way to notice if you're lacking or you're blaming or you're complaining. It's a fun way to just say, oh, get back on track. You know, this is ignorance, this is delusion. And that's all about me, not what's going on outside. And so it's that auspicious moment to be able to say, thank you.
Yeah.
You know.
Great. I think, that if my mind uses the metaphor of a GPS, for example, again, I'm repeating, what she wrote, that I don't know what to do. I'm a single parent. I'm reading the message, I have to answer her later. So now, the moment I see that, I have to put my mind on the right track. How to put the mind on the right track? I have already given you the 4 groups. But if you don't work on the 4 groups, then we are not a seeker. It's a beautiful way that Jerry, you explained. Thank you. How are you, Brandy?
Good. My experience is in line with pretty much the way everyone shared so far, but it's interesting that the mind doesn't want to believe that it causes the problems in certain situations. Like you're like, oh, you can have it straight about some things, but then the other things, no. And that's when you have to come back and contemplate and reflect. Yeah. And that was true for me, because there are some situations, and I'm like, ooh, this is happening in the mind. Like, what is any of this stuff that you're thinking about it really happening out there? And even if it is, like, during the meditation, I had to ask myself, even if it's happening the way you think it's happening, like, what's going to happen to you? And the mind wants to be like, oh, well, you'll get hurt, or you'll lose your job, or like, oh, really? So,
you see,
get back on track.
That is why you are still continuing the journey. At some point, you told me, no, I don't want. It is the journey, but I appreciate Brandy in a way. What she is telling, something prompted into my mind, so that don't think that it is their situation about this first women, second women, and the women are beautiful, and always the women have a problems. 3 situations. So what I want to convey to you all, that discover the painful situation in your life. It is almost similar. Have a different expression, but the situation is the same, caused by the 7 factors. This is what Brandy wanted to convey. So if I become aware of that, and that demands little more practice, and it is going to happen. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. Today I was reminded again of the simplicity of how we complicate everything in our minds. And then it really just led to, I almost felt like I was in a foreign body, because I was so separate from my body.
Yeah.
That was a new experience.
Yeah. We have these experience that you are in a foreign body. It means I'm not the body. It means this body is too far from me. And that also means that I live at a higher level of awareness. That is how we explain this experience. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. I was completely into the meditation today, and I kept getting a feeling of expanding and at the same time dissolving and just becoming part of everything.
Beautiful. Dissolving, that is another word, that's what I have been using. The mind and the problems that it perceives tends to dissolve in itself. One of the great masters I have been talking about, who is the Rumi of India, who says mind and the problems, they are essentially one. You recognize it and you are done. Beautiful. How are you, Dennis? Oh, then I'll come to. Don't leave, Samit.
Thank you. I had a lot of sensations in the body after the breathing. The breathing was equal after that. And towards the end, the mind was very settled in the deep, dark space. Although it recognized some flashes of thoughts, but they had no power to disturb or distract me.
Yes, they have no power to disturb and distract me. Do you see the statement? That is why we all share the experiences. Someday you will have the same experience and your mind will share the same statement. So sometime, because should I talk of that, Yes, let me make you aware. There are many formative capacities of the mind. That's another journey totally. When we are a complete seeker, then we talk only of the positive step. What is the formative capacity of the mind? One is the imaginative faculty of the mind. One is the vision faculty of the mind. One is the verbatim. We say, I'm just explaining in a different. So some people are able to explain much better than the other. It does not mean that they do not have an experience. So those capacities of the mind develops when we listen to the experiences shared by the others. It happens naturally. That is why you need to pay more attention to the others' experiences than yourself. How are you, Samir?
Sir, it was very, very free flowing, smooth, and it was like just that Om Shanti was melting inside my breath.
Good.
And going inside my backbone.
Yeah.
Means it was like that. I really enjoyed this. I wanted to be in that for longer time, so that this breath is going inside my backbone and coming out, and Om Shanti is also melting inside that. And it was wonderful. I was in peace.
You see that before I picked up the last step of self-absorption, his mind was absorbed in the very beginning. And that is why we did the nyasa. Beautiful. That is beautiful. How are you, Webber? We have two more, yes.
Thank you, sir. The practice was good. From today's lesson, it was like that the world outside is as it is. But the world we created inside our head, it is created from out of the desires. So as my desires are changing, this world which is created inside my head is not stable. It's keep on changing. And this will create the sufferings. So during the practice, when I see the difference between this world inside my head is dropping, then itself it became calm and peaceful.
Beautiful way to explain it. You see another beautiful explanation. You all shared your beautiful experiences. So when we say because of the desire, the world inside is created, that word is causing the suffering. So in Eastern wisdom, we have another track of understanding. This is one track. From this text, we have 7 factors of the suffering, and we have another track that is explained in the Gita. But almost it amounts to the same thing. But we have a wider perspective in our life about this knowledge. Then the life becomes beautiful. How are you, Ashok? We have two people. Yes, Ashok and Sangeeta.
Sir, namaste.
Namaste.
Sir, practice was very beautiful and everything is calm and peace. And I understand that contemplation and reflection, by doing that, mind comes back to the track.
Yes.
So, we have to be continued in that. So, we have continued with that. No, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
You see, the contemplation, reflection is nothing but, someone asks you where you have kept the keys. Oh, here are the keys. This is what the contemplation and reflection is. No, I am in distress. Where it is, then you become the highest level of a seeker. I'm just giving a couple of metaphors. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर बहुत अच्छा था सर जो सेशन है हमारा ये भी सत्संग है
हाँ ये है ही एक तरह से नहीं यही है what she is saying that the entire talk and the practice is satsang, the second step, second heading, under which 5 or 6 steps are there. So satsang, literally, I have just explained today, it is the company of the truth. And Eastern wisdom always takes us to that real self. So all the entire conversation, entire practice, entire reflection helps us to move towards the truth. That is what the satsang is. And what is the ultimate truth is the real self. What is the real self? That is I am. Thank you. I'm so happy you all shared good experiences. Thank you very much. Namaste. We'll meet in our